Okay, so we have finally finished reading The Great Gatsby. As discussed in class, in lieu of doing another test, we are going to write an essay. If you recall, these are 3 essays I gave you for the test. For the test, you wrote out answers for 2 of these. The one you decided not to write about on the test is the one you will be writing this paper on. For example, if on the test you wrote about the essay regarding the American dream and the other about conflicting gender roles, you will have to write a 3-page paper on a significant symbol you found within the book. This video here is to help you develop your research paper using MLA format. This is something you will need to learn for college, which most of you are attending next year. This is why I believe it is important for you to learn this. Since we already had a research topic at hand, you are going to start by brainstorming. You will write down possible ideas, opinions, and points you would like to make within your paper. The next step is researching your topic. This involves gathering information, which means looking up quotes from the text and looking for outside resources as well. Take a look at this picture. This is an example of what a research paper should consist of. It includes an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. We will begin with the introduction. This is where you will start after you have gathered all your information. This is also where you will form your thesis statement. A thesis statement is 1 or 2 sentences located within your first paragraph. This lets the reader know exactly what your paper is going to be about. Please look at the following examples. The main point of a thesis statement is to make the reader want to keep reading. The first one offers limited information and is not intriguing enough for me to keep reading, as opposed to the second one, which offers me more information on what the paper is going to be about. Altogether, your introduction paragraph is there to introduce your thesis. You will work off your thesis statement when delivering information in the body of your essay. The body will include personal opinions, quotes, and outside resources that support your thesis statement. Within every paper, citations must be used. Otherwise, it is considered plagiarism. Quotes from a novel are easy to cite. This is an example of a quote from Huckleberry Finn. What you do is simply put the quote in quotation marks. At the end of the quote, put the author's last name and page number in between the parentheses, and then you put a period at the end of it. When citing an outside source, you do the same exact thing. When paraphrasing, you do not need to use quotation marks. Paraphrasing is wording a sentence differently to express what somebody else has already said. It could be either written or spoken. It is necessary to also cite when paraphrasing. Please look at the following example. Responding to quotes. After stating quotes and information from outside resources, continue the paragraph explaining exactly how you interpreted it. Ask yourself, what do I think about that? Please take a moment to look at the following example. It is also important that every paragraph within the body needs to start with the topic sentence. The topic sentence expresses the main idea in the paragraph. Topic sentences for new paragraphs should complement the previous paragraph. They are there to determine how well your essay flows. Here is an example. The topic sentence is the sentence in the red in the example. At the end of the first paragraph, I was talking about how Pap and Aunt Sally influenced Huck. In the first sentence of the second paragraph, I continue to mention Aunt Sally and Pap. However, I connect the information I have previously delivered into a whole new topic, Huck's transformation. And finally, there is the conclusion. Within the conclusion, you will deliver your final thoughts and points you want to make. This is something you need to play around with. You do not want to fully repeat everything you have already written. Just summarize your main points. In the conclusion, I would not recommend you repeat the thesis statement. Instead, you should find a way to rephrase the thesis statement. This is a formal research paper. Therefore, you should avoid using certain words. Avoid using contractions. This includes words like don't, won't, and shouldn't. Use the full two words instead. Do this. Use do not, will not, and should not. Also, avoid using words such as I, you, we, or us. A bad example of a sentence would be, I believe this showed all of us the racial tendencies he still carried with him, which was mainly due to Pap and Aunt Sally's influence on him. And what you do, when writing out a sentence, if you tend to use the word I believe, I think, I know for a fact, simply get rid of it, and there you will have your full sentence right out in front of you. A good example would be this. This showed the racial tendencies he still carried with him, which was mainly due to Pap and Aunt Sally's influence on him. Your first page. Tomorrow in class, I will give you advice on how to use different ways to navigate Microsoft Word. However, at this moment, I just want to give you a visual on what your first page should look like. On the top right-hand corner should be your header. This will include your last name and page number. This should also be visible on every page. On the left-hand side should be your name, class name, name of your teacher, and the year. They all must be on separate lines and in this exact order. Writing the date is also different. Please remember, with the date, you will start with the day, then the month, and then the year. Next, you have to think of a title for your paper, and you will place it in the middle of the page. Do not underline it or bold the words within the title. The next thing you start with is your introduction. Everything should be double-spaced, the font should be Times New Roman, and the size should be 12. Tomorrow, we are going to the library where we will work on how to cite articles and books for your Works Cited page, along with learning how to navigate Microsoft Word. Tonight, on the class website, I will post the 3 essays on the main page along with a link to another page called PurduOwl. PurduOwl is a website created for those who have questions using MLA format. I will also inform you about the due dates for your draft, and I will also answer any questions any of you may have. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.